Miller.
Pretty good. How are you?
Hi, my name's Tyler Pope and Frank McCubbin. Do you mind if I take a seat?
Please do.
Great. How's everything going today?
Pretty good. Can't complain. It was an early morning. Got our teachers going. And everything's running smoothly.
Great. Do you mind if I take notes?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
does 12 to 15 minutes still work for you?
Yes, sounds good.
Great. I see Mrs. Smith is in here today. Is she okay?
Yeah, she's okay. It was her son. He came down with a little something, so we gave her the day off to try to take care of him as much as possible.
Great. That's very nice of y'all.
We try to take care of our teachers as much as possible whenever one of their children go down with something.
Yeah, it makes sense. Your campus is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Walking in, I saw you had a mural of a ship that said "Get on board." Do you care to explain that?
Oh, absolutely. So that was something that our teachers came up with a few years ago. And anytime they see a student kind of getting out of line, we quickly step in, we say those words, "Get on board." And we kind of taught them that it means that everybody getting on board one ship and heading in a straight line, in a straight direction, it's always the best and most flowing direction. So we try to get them going with us.
That's great. We also believe in school-wide initiatives, getting everyone on board. We believe that everybody should be pulling in the same direction. It'll help everybody as a whole. If we're all pulling in the same direction, we can all win.
Absolutely.
I just want to set the agenda with you today. I want to learn more about your school and the problem that you face, and I want you to learn more about us and Franklin Covey, the leader, and me. That way, you can understand what we do too.
Sounds good.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I was a little, I talked to Miss Smith about it a little bit, but she never really talked about the finances of it and how much it might cost.
That's a great question. That's probably everybody's first question. We can't give you an exact number today.
Okay.
We need to learn more about your school. We need to learn about your staff, your students, how much staff you have and how much students you have. That way we can give you the exact number. We might be able to give you a ballpark number, but I can't put in stone the number that you would have to, or the price that would be.
Okay, sounds good.
So I want to start with a couple questions just to further learn more about your school.
Yeah.
So every school has a decision-making process. I want to learn more about your decision-making process. How does decision go from you to being put in place?
Okay, so in most day-to-day activities, I'm able to handle most decisions on my own. I've been able to acquire the trust of my teachers and my staff and my faculty. So most of the day-to-day activities I'm able to handle myself. But this is a school-wide initiative. From talking to Ms. Smith, she was saying that this will affect the whole school. So in that kind of a situation, I would most likely get all of my teachers and faculty and staff together. I would ask them if they had any concerns or any questions about anything, and then from there I would send out an email to our students' parents and see if they had any concerns of their own, since this is going to be affecting their child's life as well. So I would ask if they had any concerns to voice, and then once we got everybody's okay to go with it, I would then again meet with my faculty and staff in person and kind of collaborate everybody together and make sure that we had a full go with everybody.
So it's a very hands-on decision throughout the school.
Oh, absolutely. We try to get everybody involved. We think that everybody has an important voice in what we do, and everything that we do affects everybody from our janitorial staff to our teachers to our parents.
Right. That's a great way to look at things.
Thank you.
What about parent-teacher organizations? Do y'all have any parent-teacher organizations?
So every 9 weeks we have a parent-teacher conference where we put up a panel of our teachers and the students' parents are able to come up and voice their questions if they have any or concerns. And we've had a little bit of push and pull from some of the parents wanting to get more involved with their students in their academics as well as their extracurricular activities, and we just haven't found too many avenues so far.
Right. So do y'all have anything in place right now for the parents to get involved?
So we'll have some kind of like bake sales and things like that throughout the school year. But they've been kind of loosely and last minute put into place, and we haven't really been able to set up a firm schedule that everybody really gets on board with as the parents. And it seems like they only really get involved when it's something that's able to really help them, you know?
What's your biggest concern for the school?
My biggest concern is that we're not going to be competing with every other school in the aspects of keeping kids interested in what they're doing and coming here and getting excited to come to school every day. So that's kind of my issue, is getting kids to really want to be around each other here and act like this is really a big community of each other.
So you'd say motivation is a problem that your school faces?
It definitely is. It seems to me that some students just kind of monotonously walk from class to class, and they don't really have a whole lot of excitement going into what they're learning. They kind of just go after like a grade point average. You know, they don't get excited to really absorb what they're learning and to be able to put it into practice.
What about behavior? Is behavior a problem in your school?
I feel like we have kind of a average behavioral issues. You know, I mean, it's an elementary school. Kids are kids. They're gonna act out and roughhouse sometimes. So we have some pushing and shoving here and there. No real big outliers. Nobody's, you know, yelling and screaming at one another, and you know. But we have those occasional issues where we have to send a student home.
You know, one of the big problems I see in school is teacher attention. Is teacher attention a problem in your school?
That's a good point. For the past few years, we've seen a little bit of a problem with new teachers coming in. They'll stay a year and a half, possibly 2 years, and they just seem to kind of flake off. We have some really good dedicated teachers that have been with us for a really long time, 10, 15, and in some cases 20 years. And they're doing a great job of helping the newer teachers get involved with everybody. But it's just kind of become an issue to where the students don't know all of the teachers and haven't been able to really have a relationship with their teacher, which is where we really try to get them.
Right. And for those older teachers, does it put added stress on them knowing that every year there's going to be more younger teachers leaving, so
Absolutely.
there's more work for them?
Oh, definitely. Just like I said, with our teachers trying to get the newer and younger teachers involved with everybody, our older teachers also try to get them on board with what we're doing, just like our poster says. And they try to teach them as well as we do in our practices and how we do things. So whenever they do have a newer teacher and somebody who doesn't know how we do things around here, it definitely takes away time that they could be dedicating to their studies and to their students.
Great. Well, I appreciate you answering those questions for me. They're very insightful. I want you to understand more about Franklin Covey and Leader in Me. Leader in Me is not a cookie cutter thing. It's not a one size fits all. This is a school-wide initiative that takes into mind every single student in this school and has programs set in place for them. And I have this presentation set up for you, and I'd really like to go through it with you.
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait.
So, with Leader in Me, we have processes and programs in place. A couple of the ones that we use is the See-Do-Get cycle, the 7 habits and 5 paradigms. The See-Do-Get cycle is see core paradigms, do highly effective practices, and get measurable results. We believe that when you change the way you see things, it influences what you do and the results you get. So we think that if you could change the way your perspective on things and how you do things, you'll get better results for it. The 7 habits, these are world-renowned habits. Franklin Covey and Leader in Me goes all over the world. So these habits have been tried through the years. So they're proven to work. The habit one is be proactive. We believe that you want to do the right things. You want to start with like the things you control. You want to get the things you control right. Begin with in the mind. Think about where you want to end, and then from there, that's where we're going to start. We're going to start knowing where you want to end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you kind of want to have a program in place to be able to get step by step.
Right, that's exactly what we do. Put first things first. We're going to do what's most important, and then work our way from there.
Okay.
Think win-win. That goes back to where we started at. We have a mindset. We want to change the way we view things, our perspective, and we want to see everything as a win-win. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then seek first, understand, then to be understood. Now understand this is elementary school. So sometimes there's words flying and not much understanding of situations, right?
Oh, I see it every day.
So what we teach is that we want you to seek first, understand. So we want, if two kids are in a discussion, we want them to try to understand each other before just trying to get their point across.
Yeah.
And then synergize. We want everybody getting on board. We want everybody working together. And the last one is sharpen the saw. At an elementary school, these kids are learning every day, right? So we believe that we want to hone in on their tools and we want to work on those things and get them better. And the greatest thing about these 7 habits is they all work together. We believe that you can't begin with end in mind if you're not proactive. So we want to get proactive, and then from there, we'll work on habits 1 through 7, and they'll each build on each other. So by the time you get to sharpen the saw, you're a well-diverse child, professional, wherever you are in your life.
Awesome.
As the 7 habits go, you get better. And the 5 paradigms, it goes back to our perspective. These 5 paradigms, to me, they're the most influential part of this whole program. It really changes the way you see situations, changes the way you see the world. Everyone can be a leader as opposed to only a few can be leaders. Sometimes we only believe that the top performers are the only leaders, but we believe that everyone can be a leader. Everyone has genius. Sometimes genius might not be a book genius. Sometimes it might be a really creative person. We believe that there's something small or something big in every kid that has genius in them. Change starts with me. This goes back to being proactive. We want every kid to go out there and try to change them, change the world. And we believe that each kid has something that could change the world. Educators empower students to lead their own learning. That would help. That's something that helps with teacher retention, because every student learns a different way. So instead of having the teacher learn this cookie cutter way, we believe that you're going to learn in a unique way to your classroom, and then develop the whole person. As much as academics are important, we want these kids to be developed whole people. So we believe that we can develop the whole person. And then how are we going to do it? We do it through staff development. And how do we develop staff? We do a 2-week workshop, personal development resources, and all-inclusive training. So we train everyone from the janitors to the principals to the teachers. Everyone gets trained in this 2-week workshop, and then personal development resources that they could use whenever we're not there with the training. Whenever we leave, they still are getting better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then student development. It goes back to mindset. We want to get the students to find their voice in the classroom. Each student is unique, and we want them to be unique. We don't want them to go back to their shell. We want them to find their own way to express themselves and to find their own leadership within them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
And the biggest question that every person wants to know is, does it work?
Yep, absolutely.
This whole presentation sounds great, but does it work?
Yep, got to prove it.
And we have those. We have those stats to prove it.
Awesome.
31% decrease in elementary school behavior incidents. You told me earlier that behavior's just as big of a problem as everybody else.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the middle of the pack. How would it feel to be under the middle of the pack? To be above and beyond the other schools in your area?
Oh, absolutely. Just like I said, any kind of discipline issues are too many, so we try to cut that back as much as possible. So 31% sounds great.
Yeah, it's a great number. 84% of teachers require skills and knowledge to become better leaders. And what that's going to help those teachers that are flaking out early, those younger teachers that are kind of flaking out, that'll help them stay on board because they're learning new things. Sometimes when they get out of school, they stop learning and stop developing. Well, we believe that learning is a lifelong process, and our process helps. 28% increase in students' mental wellness. That's a win. I mean, students have a reason. The way we get this number, students have a reason to get to school.
Yeah.
That they want to be at school, so they go to bed early to get to school, so they're healthier, happier students. And then this is a home run for us. 92% of parents say Leader in Me has had a positive impact on their child's life.
Oh, wow.
So the parents are happier with the school. We're not losing as many students to other schools because parents don't have to go anywhere because they're happy. The parents have a better relationship with the teacher because of this, because they're no longer calling to tell the teacher about the problem that they're facing. They're now calling and saying, hey, so-and-so is doing much better. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing. and that's a win for us. When we get those phone calls, and when you get those phone calls, I'm sure that makes you happy.
Oh, we love getting those phone calls. Yeah, we face that problem all the time. Parents calling and saying that they're having issues in school, but I would love to be getting phone calls saying that their childs are being impacted in a positive way. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Not right now. I'm definitely gonna have to sit on this and think about it and get with my my faculty and Miss Smith.
Great. Well, I would like to schedule another meeting. Maybe me and your superintendent, you and your superintendent can have a meeting together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think next week might work. I'm gonna have Miss Smith check my schedule whenever she gets back, so we might be able to set up a meeting for next.